At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right, Bleck Abdalla, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, SiriusXM Channel 375, and all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck, along with Adam Abdalla, broadcasting live from downtown Chicago. We're on the air until 3 Eastern. If you want to call or text the show, you can do that on the call or text line at 310-840-4910. Abdalla, we are 1 day away from the NFL draft. I can't wait.
I can smell it. I can smell the Allegheny? I can smell the Allegheny River from here.
From what I understand, there are three rivers. So I think you got one of them.
I got the Allegheny and then the other two rivers. I can smell all three of them right now.
You and I will be heading to Pittsburgh tonight. We will be there broadcasting live tomorrow and on Friday, noon to 3 Eastern. We'll also be there for the first round of the NFL draft on Thursday night. And we can't wait. And here's where I want to start today because, we've talked about this the entire draft process. Fernando Mendoza, number one to the Raiders, locked and loaded. Everyone knows that that's the case. Mendoza's not attending the draft. He's the number one pick. Everyone knows this. Mm-hmm. At number two, that's where it's up in the air. And I saw this on Pro Football Talk earlier today from Mike Florio saying that nobody knows what the Jets are going to do at number two. It does seem like there are two names that have risen above everyone else. David Bailey from Texas Tech and Arvell Reese from Ohio State. Those seem to be the two guys. And there's different opinions, either from Florio or I know Todd McShay released a new mock draft today. And his opinion is saying that he thinks the Jets will go with the safer bet in Bailey because he has more experience than the younger player in Arvell Reese. And I think that that's where the conversation starts because we've talked to a lot of experts leading up to the draft, which is tomorrow, telling us that Arvell Reese could be the best player in the draft. He could be. A lot of people have pointed to Caleb Downs or Jeremiyah Love.
Yeah.
But really where we start, and I think where a lot of the intrigue lies heading into the draft tomorrow night, is that it doesn't seem like anyone knows for sure what the New York Jets are going to do at two.
Well, they know. They know. And I think that right now, David Bailey has said he likes his conversations that he's had with the Jets. Arvell Reese has come out and said that he likes his conversations that he's had with the Jets. Both players feel like they are going to be drafted by the Jets. No one really knows. The Jets have all done their homework. They know who they're going to select. It's no secret that they are aware who they're going. They're not going into today just over 24 hours until the start of the draft and wondering who they're going to pick. They're not still doing homework and debating and having conversations. They've had this entire time. They do need a quarterback, but they're not going to take Fernando Mendoza because he's going to be off the board. And Ty Simpson is way too high to be drafted at number two. So right now it comes down to David Bailey and Arvell Reese, and Jeremiyah Love is also way too high to be drafted at number two. So to me, David Bailey seems like the safer option. I don't know if the ceiling is higher on Arvell Reese or David Bailey, but if you want a guy who's going to make an instant impact right away, day one, safer option, David Bailey is probably your guy because he's going to get after the quarterback right away and come in and be able to fit your scheme right away. And just all you have to do is say, hey, you've got one job. Get after the quarterback. That's it. With Arvell Reese, he's younger. It's going to take some time. He might not have the best stats from college, and he might have to grow a little bit, put on some more muscle, all that kind of stuff. But with David Bailey, you know what you're getting. And I think with the Jets and what they want from this team right now, they want instant impact. They want someone that's going to come in and turn this team into a contender right now. I don't think right now they have the time 3 years to kind of get this show on the road because we all think right now the Jets might be looking for a new head coach at the end of next season.
Yeah, and I think that's why with the Jets, there's also, there's a school of thought that perhaps one of their picks either 16 or 33, that maybe they're interested in Ty Simpson. I don't think that's realistic. I think what they need to do is what you laid out. Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports. I think, Abdalla, what you laid out there is the best way. They need to take best available players with these first 4 picks. So they've got 4 picks within the first 44 of the draft. They have 2, 16, 33, 44. If you can add 4 starting level players for this season based on some good drafting here, and you don't blow a pick trying to take a flyer on a quarterback who's not worthy of the 16th overall pick, I think the Jets could really set themselves up for a real remold of the roster. And who knows what happens with the head coach, but you don't have a quarterback and say you add some pieces, some good starting pieces who maybe could be stars, because if you're drafting within the first 2 rounds, you need to be finding stars, blue chip players for your team. Maybe it doesn't translate to wins this upcoming season, and Aaron Glenn gets fired. If that happened, you will be in a good situation for next season with the draft. And a lot of quarterbacks expected to be entering the NFL draft at a higher rating than what we have with this year's class.
Yeah.
So I think the Jets could really set themselves up for a lot of success down the road by just taking care of business with what's in front of them. Don't reach, take the best player available, add to the defense, and do it that way. I think that would be the smart way. I've seen some mocks say Jets at 2, take Reese. I've also seen them at 16, take one of the wide receivers. If one of the wide receivers falls to 16, there's 3 of them there between Tate, Jordan, and Lemon. So if one of those guys fall to 16, maybe that's a spot. You add another wide receiver. So I think that would be the wise way to handle this year's draft for the Jets, and don't reach for Ty Simpson, because that, to me, would be the Jets just repeating what they always do.
Yeah.
Trying to search for a quarterback in the wrong places, and then you're in a spot where you're waiting for a kid to develop who needs time to develop, but you throw him into the fire too early. And I think that's where the Ty Simpson situation is different than some of the other quarterback prospects, because of the few pass attempts in college, the few games started in college, and the few touchdowns thrown in college compared to other drafted quarterbacks of the last 10 years.
I think right now, if you're the Jets in Todd McShay's latest mock draft that you mentioned, the Jets at 16 take Carnell Tate, the wide receiver, at 16. So, and that's because for some reason, Todd McShay right now has Ty Simpson not available at 16. We'll get to that in a second. Because the Jets, for me, if you're looking at the division, Aaron Glenn can think something completely different than you and I are thinking. Aaron Glenn might think he's surviving at the end of the year and will be the coach of the Jets in 2027. You and I can look realistically at the division and say the Bills are number 1, the Patriots are number 2, the Jets are probably number 3, and the Dolphins are going to be number 4. The Jets right now, taking David Bailey at number 2, and then getting a wide receiver at number 16, and then whatever they end up taking with their other picks before in the next 44, right? They have to set themselves up, most likely, to try to win games 17-14. That's just how it's going to go. That's how it's going to be. Because even if you find a way to get Ty Simpson later in the second round or whatever it is, you're not going to be able to be this team that competes with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills in points, and Drake May and the New England Patriots in points. So if you're trying to get a wild card spot or somehow trying to win your division, it's got to be through defense. So going with Bailey, the instant impact guy at 2, is the way to do that. And I would even go a step further and maybe 16 go another defensive player if your wide receiver is not there, because you're not going to be a offensive juggernaut in this division. You have to find ways to stop those 2 offenses. That's your way to success. And if Aaron Glenn has some metric he has to hit, in order to save his job, and it's not developing a quarterback and it's waiting. Like if they have gone into Aaron Glenn and they said, hey man, look, we know where we are, develop your defense. We're going to get a quarterback next year because that's where the class is, because reports are saying that there are teams that that have decided this ain't the year. We're already doing our homework on the 2027 class of quarterbacks because we know it's Fernando Mendoza and then the bottom falls out. So the Jets might be one of those teams. It could be, we know the Dolphins are probably one of those teams. The Cardinals might be one of those teams. There are a bunch of teams that are already looking at, the march for Arch and the sucking for a duck with Dante Moore, as you like to put it.
I told you it's a good one.
It is. I like it.
I think
like
NFL stadiums will throw up the banners.
I don't think that they're going to spend money. I don't think the NFL is going to sign up. The fans might. The fans might. They might print the shirts. They might be printing shirts.
Have you ever seen a lonely Cleveland Brown fan? They might get to late November and realize that the only hope that they have is another new quarterback.
Yes.
It's the same for the Jets, for the Browns, for many teams like that.
I get that. So that being said, right now, Todd McShay's draft, because he has the Jets drafting a wide receiver at 16 in Carnell Tate, that is because what I hope happens for my quarterback, my former quarterback, Ty Simpson,
You're taking ownership.
As an Alabama fan, I have to. He's my former guy.
Okay.
He was the starter on my football team.
Yeah.
He played the games.
Yeah.
He started for the team.
For one season.
Yeah. I got to claim him.
Sure.
Just like you got to claim.
I guess.
Booty. Just like you got to claim. John David Booty.
USC.
You got to claim all the quarterbacks that ever played for USC, and I got to claim all the quarterbacks that ever played for Alabama.
All right. Okay.
He has what I had hoped for Ty Simpson happening. The Los Angeles Rams draft Ty Simpson at 13.
That's in McShay's mock draft today.
That is in McShay's mock draft today. McShay.
The McShay?
The mock draft. And what he says is, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I do believe Ty Simpson goes earlier than expected Thursday night, and I know the Rams think extremely high of him. Regardless, I think Les Snead is up to something bigger than sitting at 13 and taking a wide receiver. I'm expecting some kind of fireworks.
All right. Well, if that were to be the case, that would be a big time wow moment. If the Rams did select Ty Simpson 13th overall, I mean, obviously, it would be the right situation for Ty Simpson, right? He does not have to start this year. He may not even have to start for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Because Matthew Stafford, and we had the reports earlier this week saying that Stafford feels good. He's in talks with the Rams to continue playing with a new deal. So if that's the case, and Ty Simpson is selected to the Rams, and they just put him to the side and have him develop, 2 seasons of seasoning on Ty Simpson might be what you need. Because the major concern is he hasn't played enough games.
Yeah.
He hasn't thrown enough passes. He hasn't done it enough at the highest level. So if you can say, well, you don't have to worry about it. I'm one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in all of the NFL in Sean McVay. And we have Matthew Stafford, who's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Just sit by the side. We might need you occasionally, but you just learn. That would be a great situation for Ty Simpson. I don't know if I love it necessarily for the Rams, but for the player, it would be a perfect situation.
I would be mortified. I would be
upset if I were a Rams fan.
I would be so upset. I would want, if I'm the Rams and if I'm Les Snead, I would want pen to paper from Matthew Stafford before that happens. Because if you've got Carnell Tate, if you've got Mekhi Lemon, who you watched all of last year at USC, still on the board.
He won the award in college football for the best wide receiver last season.
If he is still on the board, and at 13, you're not drafting a player that's going to help your team for the next 2 seasons, that Matthew Stafford is there and trying to win another championship or 2 more championships as the guy that just won the MVP last year, that's upsetting. I would be upset if I'm Matthew Stafford, and that's what you do. If you have the 13th pick, because when are you ever going to have the 13th pick if I'm still there, if I'm Matthew Stafford, the next 2 years.
No, you're not. You're expecting to win Super Bowls.
You only have this pick because the Atlanta Falcons are bad at trading picks.
Yep.
Because they made this horrible trade last year, and you got this pick.
Well, I would say this. Sure, perhaps there's rumblings. I'm not going to refute what McShay is putting in his mock draft. If that's what he thinks, if he thinks Les Snead is up to something bigger and he expects some fireworks there, okay, I'm not going to refute that. I do know it is also lying season in the NFL. And if the Rams want to move back, the best way to get someone to jump up into the spot or jump over them is to make them think you are going to take a player that some teams are desperate to get their hands on. Right? So, like, if it's just run-of-the-mill defensive player or whatever, maybe it doesn't catch the eye as much as the Rams taking a quarterback and then the Cardinals looking around going, oh, blank. We need a quarterback. We need to jump up to 12. They call beep, bop, boop, 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 boop. They call Jerry Jones at 12. They say, hey, can we make a deal? And then, boom, all of a sudden, Ty Simpson goes at 12 because the Cardinals trade to that spot. And then the Rams get Caleb Downs. You know what I mean? Like this is how some of this stuff works. So, like, could I see the Rams doing this and selecting that quarterback at 13? I guess. I won't believe it until we see it, until we see Ty Simpson walk across that stage, give a big hug to Roger Goodell and throw a Rams hat on. I'm not going to believe that.
We know the Rams' philosophy in the first round is F them picks. Is the most F them picks move to take a quarterback that you're not going to use for 2 years with the 13th overall pick?
See, here's the thing. They're trading away picks to get assets, though. They get players. It's not like they don't use them.
I understand that.
This isn't an NBA situation where teams are selling second-round picks for cash.
Literally wore a shirt that said F the picks.
No, I know, but
he buys into it.
You need a player to help your team get to the Super Bowl.
I understand.
Now.
Look, I understand the philosophy.
Because I also don't believe that McVay will be there forever either.
No.
You know, McVay, he's going to see Mike Tomlin have a lot of success this year on TV, and he's going to say, I can do better.
It's a much easier life.
Don't you think? Like, haven't those rumors been out there that McVay has been eyeing being a part of an NFL broadcast and leaving coaching at some point?
Look, it was thrown out by Nick Kostos on You Better You Bet right before us that when Stafford retires, don't be surprised that if McVay follows with him. And if Stafford retires in 2 years, don't be surprised if McVay goes with Stafford in 2 years. If that's the plan, why are you drafting a quarterback at 13 to replace him? Draft a player that is going to help you for the next 2 years and try to win 2 rings.
Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports. Last night, the Spurs lose to the Blazers. The biggest story out of the game, Victor Wembanyama hit his face on the court in the second quarter, and it looked like he knocked himself out cold. He then ran to the back of to the locker room. He was out for the rest of the game with a concussion. He is now in concussion protocol. How big of an issue is this for the Spurs? We'll talk about it next.
Running backs aren't supposed to be drafted high anymore, but Notre Dame's Jeremiyah Love may be the best player in the entire draft. Is Love the exception? Will he go in the top 5? From your home of the NFL, Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
How about last night in the NBA, Abdalla? We saw some really good games and some surprises. The 76ers beat the Celtics 111-97. How about Tyrese Maxey, BJ Edgecombe? They both had great games for the 76ers. All right, 1-1 series there. I'm in. Blazers Spurs. The Blazers win 106-103. The story of that, though, is more to do with Victor Wembanyama hitting his face on the court. First of all, when that happened, second quarter last night, when he hit his face on the court, and clearly because the baseline camera caught it.
Yeah.
He knocked himself out.
I don't know.
His eyes immediately closed.
I think that.
And he laid there for a moment.
Okay, so I initially thought that as well. And then he started to mouth something. So I don't think. I watched that thing. I rewound that thing like 10 times. I watched that like the Zapruder film. I watched it in slow-mo. I watched the face bounce multiple times. I counted the bounces.
Did you see a travel called or
it was no travel?
A Euro step and a collect step there?
Because people thought that like his legs were taken out, so I wanted to see if it was like a dirty play.
He like banged his knee on the way down.
Yeah, I wanted to see all the different angles.
Yeah.
Didn't look dirty, nothing like that.
No. But
so
face met court.
I didn't see at any point. It just looked like he got hurt and he closed his eyes and then he mouthed something. So I don't think at any point, I don't think he lost consciousness.
Okay, so the thing that I was surprised by watching face hit the court, how in the world did he get up and not have like a bloodied mouth?
I don't know. Because
and all his teeth were intact. Like I was expecting when I saw it happen, seen it before. It's not pretty. Usually, for those of you who are diehard hockey fans, you know that hockey players don't care about their teeth.
Nope.
They just spit them onto the ice and they keep playing. They don't care. You know, famously, we're both in Chicago. Like Duncan Keith, a defenseman for the Blackhawks for many years. Like there were playoff games where he was just missing like the first 3 front teeth.
Well, just in the Olympics recently.
You're right. Like so we see that all the time in hockey. In basketball, you don't usually see it. And I was shocked that when he got up that he didn't have blood dripping from his face.
Well, he's so tall, that's like a 2-story fall.
You know what they say, Abdalla? The bigger they are,
the harder they fall.
Yes, of course. So Wembanyama did not return last night with a concussion. He is now in the NBA's concussion protocol, which the NBA actually has guidelines on having players return to action around a concussion. Not throwing any shade at any other contact sports, but sometimes you get quarterbacks that take concussions, and then the next week you see quarterback in the game. Or they head to the blue tent with a head contact injury, and then all of a sudden it's an ankle. It's an ankle injury for Jackson Dart, and boom, he's back on the field, right? Like we know how the NFL operates. They try and act like they're taking care of the players, but
I don't know.
sometimes
Hold on, though. We just had LaMelo Ball wonder what a concussion was the other day. So just hold on a second.
But we've all seen a quarterback
hold on a second.
Get his clock rung.
Yeah.
And then he heads to the blue tent and it's, my elbow.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the next thing you know, he's back out there.
It was not 5 days ago where LaMelo was like, I don't even know what a concussion is, man.
Is that an NBA thing or is that a LaMelo thing?
That might just be a LaMelo thing.
Might be a LaMelo thing. So here are the guidelines. Shams Charania put this out on Twitter last night. The NBA guidelines for concussion is that you cannot return to full participation for 48 hours, but you can resume gradual activity in 24 hours as long as there are no symptoms and the symptoms do not worsen. So, with that said, Game 3 set up for Friday night in Portland. Theoretically, if there are no symptoms today or tomorrow, Wemby could theoretically be back for Friday night. Mm-hmm. Mark Stein also put on Twitter that there was a big study and research project done on concussions in basketball and looking at player availability post-concussions. And in that study that Stein tweeted out earlier today, he said the average games missed for a player who has a concussion was anywhere from 3 to 4 games. Ooh. So if you're a Spurs fan and it goes from, it could be 48 hours as long as symptoms don't worsen to, okay, I mean, theoretically you could be back in time for Game 3. But in most situations in the NBA, players are missing 3 to 4 games on average when they have a concussion. That's not good because, you take the averages. That's not saying 3 days in a row he's missing games. You see what I'm saying? Like when an NBA team, usually in a week, you're playing 3 to 4 games in a week.
Okay.
So if that's the case, that would put us somewhere like next Wednesday.
Well, Game 5 is Tuesday. because they play Friday.
So you would miss both Portland games Portland.
They play Friday, Sunday, and then Tuesday.
And then what is game 6? I'm guessing is Thursday. Yeah, game 6 would be Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So Tuesday, Thursday of next week, Spurs, Blazers. But as we kind of lay all this out with Wembanyama, this is also now a series because Portland took advantage of the game last night. Scoot Henderson was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They made their buckets late. Avdia played well, even though he looks banged up. And the Spurs have enough, but the Blazers were able to pull that game out last night, 1-1 series. Now you go back to Portland where you have a young team that wasn't expected to be here. The fans are going to be ready to go. It's a team that hasn't had a lot of success in recent times. So you know that place is going to be loud.
Yeah.
And they're going to be ready to go for the game without Wembanyama. This is now, the Spurs are now in a fight, and they're going to have the guys who are healthy step up. De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle. Like, they're going to have to step up and make sure this doesn't fall into a situation where you say game 5 is Tuesday. You better not be down 3-1 with the hopes of maybe getting Wembanyama back for Tuesday or Thursday of next week.
No. But
that's what they're facing right now.
It could be, but let's say that's absolute worst case scenario. Let's say they go back to Houston 2-2. That's not horrible.
No.
If they go back to Houston, if they go back to
Portland?
No. If it goes
What happened?
If it goes
San
back
Antonio.
If it goes back
the Spurs and the
If it goes back to
Trailblazers.
San Antonio and it's 2-2,
Yes.
I'm trying to do the math here of how many games it would be that he would miss for it to go back on Tuesday.
Well, if he misses 3,
I'm trying to do
be
NBA math in terms of games with the Mark Stein report that you did.
3 to 4 would
3
put
to
it
4
game
is a week.
6.
But that's NBA games in a week, 3 to 4. That's a week.
It's a week. That's why I'm saying Wednesday.
Okay. So that's Wednesday, but this is okay. So if he could, but let's say he plays on Tuesday in game 5 and the series is tied at 2-2. That's not horrible. If he returns home to San Antonio, that's not horrible.
That also means you have to split then on the road without him.
I could
Wembanyama.
see them doing that.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly could, and they could have won the game last night. I'm just saying that this is now a competitive series because the best player in the series is questionable on the return. And I think the other thing to kind of, not to completely panic over it if you're a Spurs fan, but with a concussion, there is no telling, right? Like, if you have symptoms, the clock on resetting your return window goes back to 0.
Yeah.
So if you pass, we're kind of talking about this within assuming he doesn't have symptoms. If he has symptoms, which you can't control, it's not an ankle injury. You can't say, in 2 weeks he absolutely will be able to play again. There's gray area. You don't know with head injuries.
There's gray matter.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're on fire today.
I'm just telling you.
No, I know.
That's where it's in the brain.
It's so.
That's what you're dealing with. You're not dealing with an ankle. You're dealing with gray matter.
I understand. And we don't know how long that takes. And so if there are no symptoms, maybe it's a game. Maybe he's back Friday night. It's possible. If he has no symptoms, he could be back Friday night.
He could be.
And that would be, the Spurs could get back on track and try and finish this in a gentleman's sweep of 5 games.
It could be. His face did break the fall to his head. It wasn't a direct shot of the head.
I guess.
It was face first, then skull. So maybe top of the skull. So maybe it was. Maybe he lucked out.
I don't think you're a doctor.
I'm not.
I don't think you have the
My dad
credentials.
wishes I was a doctor, but I'm not. So I won't try to diagnose Mr. Wembanyama.
The third game last night, the Lakers and the Rockets. This was a game. It was an entertaining game going back and forth. LeBron played well again, and Houston is in major trouble now because having Durant back and you still can't beat the Lakers without 2 of their 3 stars. Now, I get it. They're going to have home court now for the next 2 games.
Yeah.
But it does feel like if game 3 starts up and the Lakers are hot, the pressure's only going to mount on the Rockets in this situation for Houston.
Well, you've had the others, quote unquote, show up. Marcus Smart had 25 points. Kennard had 23 points. And you've got LeBron, who's playing really well. And also, Durant was not a factor in the second half. He had 3 points in the second half. Where's Kevin Durant? I know he didn't play in the first game. So coming off an injury, whatever it was, and playing in the second game, not being a factor in the second half, the Lakers really locked down on defense and played really well. LeBron has not lost a series ever when his team is up 2-0 in a series. So something historical would have to happen for the Rockets to come back and win this series. Something the LeBron team has never done is lost a series when he's up 2-0.
When Durant was out, we pointed out that the Rockets don't shoot well from distance. Well, Durant was back last night, and that didn't change anything.
No.
The Rockets from 3 last night, 7 for 29. They shot 24% from 3. The Lakers, on the other hand, made 13 of 28, 46%. I mean, that's the game right there. The fact that the Rockets can't shoot from the outside, and when Durant was, back in the lineup, you're expecting a little bit of a bump. He goes 1 of 4 from 3. He didn't play that well, 23 points, and now the Rockets face an 0-2 hole against the Lakers. Now they head home for the next 2, but I do think that one of the big storylines here in the first round of the playoffs will be the disappointment of the Houston Rockets this season. And if they lose this series to a Luka-less Lakers and a Austin Reeves-less Lakers, then, I know that the easy thing people are going to do is, how does this add to LeBron's legacy?
Well,
I don't think that's the major storyline here. I think the major storyline is how this Rockets team was put together to be a championship contending team, and it never came together. And I get it. Their point guard has been out for the entire season. Fred VanVleet has been out. He's an NBA champion. He's a really good point guard. But still, you got to get past that, and you got to at least get past the first round.
I think also, though, sub-story is you have to look at the way LeBron is playing
he's
at
played great.
41.
Yeah.
And, still, that dunk last night
It's
at 41 is not saying that we have to discuss his legacy as, oh, my God, what is he doing? But last week, when we discussed the story about teams and how much money they would be willing to put up for LeBron,
he can still do it.
that has to go up a little bit now. That has to be, some teams have to be more willing to be oh, wait a minute. Wait just a minute.
Well, to me, it's LeBron has a backbone, right? This could have been a situation without your top 2 players. All right, the Lakers, they lose this series. LeBron, okay, he moves on or he figures out his offseason, whatever the case is. But, he's not letting them play poorly. He's playing well. He was good last night, 28, 8, and 7. Game 1, he dominated from the start. He controlled the game. And maybe that's where he's at in this stage of his career, where let other people lead throughout the season, and then if called upon, he can still do it.
Yeah.
He's still a great player.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a team that doesn't have a number 1 star, do you want to pay LeBron $50 million to come in and be that guy?
No.
I'm guessing no.
No. But adding him to the Warriors or to the Cavs if he goes back to Cleveland, or even staying with the Lakers, that is something that teams have to consider at contributing a little bit more money and saying, hey, we can try to make this work to LeBron's advantage and add more money, because look at what he can do when we get to the playoffs.
Shine matters in the Shine Showdown. 84% of people choose Tidal Wave over the competition. Stop by Tidal Wave and get a clean car, happy feeling. Find locations at TidalWaveAutospa.com. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports. After the show today, we will be flying to Pittsburgh for the NFL Draft. Which landmarks will Abdalla seek out while we're in Pittsburgh? We'll talk about that coming up next.
We're covering the NFL Draft unlike anyone else can. Reporting from Pittsburgh with exclusive first-round player interviews.
I saw my family and they started crying. I thought I was going to start flowing.
Happy Draft Week from your home of the NFL.
It was definitely surreal, something I dreamed of as a kid.
Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
You can check out the podcast of Bleck and Abdalla on Apple and Spotify, also YouTube. The Bleck and Abdalla Show on YouTube. Like and subscribe to the channel. We have the live stream posted each and every day, and we will be broadcasting live tomorrow from Pittsburgh, from Acrisure Stadium, live from the NFL Draft. So you can watch with us tomorrow on YouTube. Live stream it with us, Bleck and Abdalla right there, Bleck and Abdalla Show. And then, of course, you can listen to us every way that you listen to Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports Network. Noon to 3 Eastern tomorrow, Bleck and Abdalla live from Pittsburgh. We cannot wait. Should be a great time. I love the NFL Draft. I've attended the NFL Draft in the past. I have not painted my face for the NFL Draft. That's Abdalla.
Oh, well, we've got time.
Yeah. When we attended the draft in Chicago, there was no, we were working it for the station we were working for at the time. But the fans that come out for the NFL Draft, boy, it's a spectacle.
Yeah.
It is fun. Mm-hmm. Football fans from around the country come together to celebrate the NFL Draft because it's the one time of year where we all have hope. Different levels of hope.
Different levels.
Maybe it's hope that you don't even know is the case yet. Maybe in 5 years, that player selected 7th overall turns out to be an all-time great.
Yeah.
Hope is flowing at the NFL Draft. And so everyone comes together, and it's a lot of fun.
Everybody's undefeated, and everybody thinks they're going to get the best pick ever. Or everybody can boo. Everyone can boo.
Well, and usually the boos are for the commissioner.
Yeah, that too.
And that's always a lot of fun because whenever you can rally around one specific person to boo, it's great. It's why in baseball, the fact that now you have the ABS challenge system, now it gives fans the ability to come together and boo the umps.
Yeah.
Which is all fun.
That's all great too.
We all agree on that. So tomorrow we will be in Pittsburgh. We will be there on Thursday and Friday.
Can't wait.
Now, you and I attended the Super Bowl. And we were in San Francisco the week leading up to the Super Bowl. And Raj and I came together and we put together a list of activities for Adam Abdalla to try and cross off while we were in San Francisco. That week, you how many of those did you actually accomplish?
I think
it seems like
out of 10, I did like six or 7 out of 10.
I think you ignored most of them.
No, I didn't. I did like 6 or 7 out of 10.
I know you didn't go in San Francisco to that zigzaggy street.
Nope, we drove by it. It counts.
That doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
Raj, did it count?
Did the drive-by. It counts.
I don't think it counted.
It counts. I've been to it before also, so I didn't need to go to it again. I've also been to San Francisco many a time.
Oh, humble brag. Look at you.
Yeah. Traveled.
Right. So here we go. We're heading to Pittsburgh. Traveled. Congrats. We're heading to Pittsburgh. I've never been to Pittsburgh.
Neither have I.
So this is the first time. Raj, have you ever been to Pittsburgh?
I had a scrimmage when I played college football at Carnegie Mellon. That was my one trip to Pittsburgh,
really?
Pennsylvania.
Carnegie Mellon?
Yes. Carnegie Mellon. Yes.
Okay. That's
In
weird.
and out.
That's one of my spaces I want to go.
I've seen it on some of the lists.
I want to go to Carnegie Mellon University because, you know why?
Why?
Do you know why?
I just said why.
That's where Bane reads Commissioner Gordon's speech.
Okay,
from the
this
Dark
is so
Knight Rises.
funny.
From the Dark
Because
Knight Rises.
All
The
right.
thing I wanted to ask Abdalla was to recreate Bane's speech at the stadium. So we are on the same thinking here.
Okay.
Abdalla, I want you to put on a Bane mask and do the speech.
You're all here for the draft.
All I know about Pittsburgh is that Three Rivers Stadium is awesome, supposedly. Three Rivers Stadium is awesome, right? Heinz Field or Acrisure, whatever they call it, is awesome. Acrisure
Stadium
is awesome. And Bane blew it up. So I can't, it's still standing apparently.
No,
even after Bane blew it up.
It was the field.
Well,
the stadium itself was intact.
Well, the field is still
field.
The field is still there even after they rebuilt it?
Yes.
Okay, good for them. And also, last night, I finished the pit. So I want to find and see if someone...
if Noah Wiley's hanging around?
I want to know if someone adopted baby Jane Doe.
Okay, I don't know that reference, but sure.
You should probably watch it. It won a bunch of Emmys. It's like the most popular show ever right now. And Baby Jane Doe is just sitting there. And I want to know if someone adopted Baby Jane Doe.
When you do you should watch it. It won a bunch of awards. That goes one in one ear, one out
Good
the
for
other.
you.
Okay, that's not a selling
everybody
point.
watches The Pit.
No, I get it. It's good, and everyone talks about how good it is. I understand.
It's awesome, and I want to go to the hospital. And if I got to cut off a finger to get in there to see Noah Wiley and to see Dr. Robbie, I might have to do it.
I've passed through rooms where people are watching The Pit. I've seen what it's about.
It's awesome.
I have nothing against it. I just haven't sat down and watched it.
I'm going to find Baby Jane Doe. And I'm going to find Dr. Robbie.
There's too many sports on, Abdalla, to be watching The Pit. That's my issue right now.
Okay. Well, when sports are done and it's just baseball.
So you're going to set up at Acrisure Stadium as Bane. I'm here to tell you the draft picks.
Well, I'd like to go see this. It's just a bunch of columns. This Carnegie Mellon University.
So you know what's sad though, and Raj, this is what I don't know. So if you're from Pittsburgh,
don't take offense.
I'm not trying to disrespect your place because I think it's going to be cool.
From Auntie's, and that's kind of it,
from
right?
what and there's one not too far from
our
hotel.
By the way, you can at him at Chris Bleck, Pittsburgh.
Yes.
As he gets ready to talk.
Full respect, because I've always heard that Pittsburgh's a really cool downtown area. The area is cool. No issue. I have concern, though, when I visit their tourism site, Visit Pittsburgh, that in the top 25 things to do in Pittsburgh, the number one activity you need to do in Pittsburgh is go to Acrisure Stadium.
Go to a game.
What? Like if you go to any city around the world and the number one thing you have to do is go to the football stadium.
I saw the same list.
right? Like when I saw that, I was like, oh, maybe we're in for one.
No, please. If you know
I'm not trying to be offensive.
We
but
need things.
If you came to Chicago.
Yes.
I was just about to say, guys, I Googled places to visit in Chicago, and Wrigley just came up first.
Okay, but Wrigley Field's a little different.
Wrigley
it's 100 years. It's standing. It's in the middle of a neighborhood. That to me is different than a football
don't park
stadium.
on the side of the road. You might get sideswept.
I swear to God.
That's a story that needs to be told on the air if you're going to bring it up.
My car got hit by a drunken Cubs fan last night.
You had some choice words before the show for said individual. Do you want to share with everyone in the class?
I'd like to stay on the air and do our show from the draft tomorrow and Friday. So, no, I don't want to share those words on the air, Chris.
So, Abdalla does live close enough to Wrigley that people park on his street and then walk to the game.
Yeah,
it's an old thing. I used to live in the neighborhood as well. It happens, right?
Or drunkenly drive down the street.
Well, yes, being overserved at the game. I'm just saying, when you see the number one, like Raj, to my point, if I said come to the city of Chicago, I would not tell you that Soldier Field is something you have to go see. A stadium that was built in the early 2000s.
Go to Rate Field.
Like that's the thing with Acrisure Stadium. Like this stadium is a newish-er stadium. I know, in the last 25 years this was built. That's the best you have to offer. Number 2 on the list, Abdalla, will you go to the Andy Warhol Museum?
I know Andy Warhol's grave is around there too. Maybe. I don't know. It's just art, right? I can just look it up on Instagram.
Come on.
What about this place?
What, sandwiches? Read the name of the sandwich place that you just showed me on the computer.
600 Grant Street, Wiener World.
Let's go.
Or I could find the Wiener World truck outside of the hospital.
Those look like sub sandwiches.
They do. They look really good.
It's a misleading title of the restaurant.
Yeah, Wiener World.
Raj, nothing?
I got nothing on Wiener World?
I got nothing on that
He's got nothing.
Nothing on
Sitting
Wiener World.
on out on that one.
Well, Aaron Rodgers will be back with the Steelers. We'll talk about that next.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right, Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM Channel 375. All of our great radio affiliates around the country hanging out with Bleck and Abdalla until 3 Eastern. If you want to call or text the show, you can do that at 310-840-4910. We're hanging out, getting you set for the NFL Draft tomorrow night live from Pittsburgh. We will be there in person tomorrow for the show from noon to 3 Eastern, both on Thursday and on Friday. And we can't wait. It should be a great time. And covering the NFL draft's a lot of fun, but also the NFL, there are a lot of different storylines kind of coming together this week. And notably, in Pittsburgh, they don't have an answer on their quarterback. Will Aaron Rodgers play this season or will he retire? My thought this entire offseason is that if Aaron Rodgers was planning on not playing this upcoming season, he would have told people at the end of last year. He would have had some form of send-off. People would have known. He's not one. I think that he tries to appear as if he doesn't care, but he cares. He wants attention, and I think that's why he does some of the things he does, because he wants people to be talking about the things that Aaron Rodgers does. And so dragging this out and kind of letting the Steelers know he will make a decision, but not making the decision, so then people have to speculate, I think all plays into exactly what he enjoys.
Mike McCarthy, head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, has told us that he is communicating. Personally. Well, us as in the royal us, the media, has told the media that he is in communication with Aaron Rodgers on a regular basis. If I was Aaron Rodgers, and I'm sure Mike McCarthy's a nice guy. He seems like a nice guy. If I'm Aaron Rodgers and I'm not going to play, why am I talking to Mike McCarthy on a regular basis? What are we talking about? Like, what is there to talk about?
Maybe they're just catching up. Can't two grown adults talk on the phone?
No.
Why not?
It's weird.
No, it's not.
No. What? First of all, they had a messy breakup.
Did they?
Yes. It's documented that they had a messy breakup and that they had to like reconcile and all this kind of stuff. And that's why they're getting back together.
I think he was more bent that the Packers drafted a quarterback. Like,
I get it.
The situation he found himself in when he was drafted and Brett Favre was still there.
Still, when he left the team, the team and him were not on good terms. Mike McCarthy, part of the team. Now they're talking to each other. If you were not going to play for the team, why would you be talking to the coach on a regular basis? Why would Art Rooney be saying the things that he's saying? Why would Mark McCarthy be saying the thing that he's saying? He's playing. We know he's playing. He just hasn't officially signed on the dotted line yet. He hasn't reported for the voluntary workouts yet, which is his decision, but it's probably not a wise one because you should be getting all the reps that you can. I believe he's the only quarterback that's not reporting for these voluntary workouts. I don't think we've gotten a report that this QB isn't there, this QB isn't with their team. Like we've gotten reports that wide receivers and various other players that aren't reporting for voluntary workouts, but by all accounts, most of the quarterbacks, if not all the quarterbacks, have reported for these things. So Aaron Rodgers is not a part of the Steelers yet, but he's in communication with the head coach and the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers on a regular basis, which is weird.
Well, it's what he did last year, too, and then he ended up playing.
Exactly.
So it is something that has happened in the past. Art Rooney, the second owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, had a chance to talk yesterday. This is what he said about Aaron Rodgers and the decision. Is it close?
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be before the draft. I think it'll be soon. So, can't put an exact day on it or anything like that. But yeah, I think it'll happen soon, one way or the other.
Okay, soon, one way or the other from the owner. Okay, Mike McCarthy, he talked about how Rodgers would be ready to play by joining the Steelers.
I think Aaron is probably more in tune than we would realize, but I have confidence in where he would be the day he would arrive if that's his decision. But what I've learned through instituting an off-season program, there are benefits of periods where your veterans aren't here, and we're talking about the quarterback position. So that this is very beneficial time for Will and Mason right now. They split all the reps today in the last 2 days, and that's just great work. And when you see it improve from one day to the next, that's what you're looking for. So all those things factor. I'm comfortable where we are, and giving him the space to make his decision.
Mike McCarthy on the Rodgers situation. It's good for the other quarterbacks to split their reps. It's a good thing for them. I keep telling that.
Yeah, because Rodgers is in his mid-40s and might not last the entire season. So Will Howard better get those reps because he might need to play because guess what? Trey Hendrickson's a Raven and Dexter Lawrence is a Bengal and Aaron Rodgers has to deal with that this year. So get ready, Will Howard, because you might be stepping in at some point this year. Get those reps, learn that offense.
I'm not laughing at the concept of younger players needing to develop and get the reps, but trying to sell that having Will Howard and Mason Rudolph split reps, that's actually a better plan for the Steelers to win games this upcoming season, that's laughable. That's not the case. The best situation possible would be one of two things. Aaron Rodgers is there. He's their quarterback next season, and they try to win now because that's what's on the table when Rodgers is your quarterback. Or you draft a quarterback and you start fresh with that new guy. But I don't think that there's a guy there for them to take at 21. No. I mean, theoretically, Ty Simpson may be there, but I don't think that that's the right move to go with Ty Simpson as the quarterback for the future for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, this goes into the same philosophy of the Rams at 13 with the Steelers at 21. You draft a player that's going to help you win now. Drafting a player at 21 that's going to help you win 2 years from now, 3 years from now, that doesn't do anything for Matthew Stafford or for Aaron Rodgers. You need a player that's going to help you win now, whether it's on the offensive line, defensive line, a wide receiver, an edge rusher, a corner, whoever that is. You need a player to help your aging quarterback.
No, it's good, though. It's good that he's not there.
Win now. And then wherever the chips fall and the draft picks fall in the second round or even the third round with Garrett Nussmeier, that's where you draft your quarterback. If you need to draft your quarterback in the third round because Ty Simpson isn't available to you because someone wants to trade up to 32 with the Seahawks and draft Ty Simpson at 32, or someone takes him at, let's say, 16. Let's say the Jets draft Ty Simpson at 16 and he's just not there at 21. Then fine. When your draft pick rolls around in the second round and you can take Garrett Nussmeier then fine. That's what you do. But at 21 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the priority is 2026. The priority is this season. How can you win this season? Because that might be why Aaron Rodgers is waiting. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to mess around with another Packers Mike McCarthy situation where the Steelers are going to be drafting someone to help them when Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be around.
Okay, do you think Aaron Rodgers, we're going to be there. Does he make, you said on this show.
I did.
What, like a month ago? Mm-hmm. You said that you thought Rodgers would announce the day of the draft. That day is tomorrow.
Yeah.
You said that you thought he would do it in the afternoon, thus stealing the spotlight from the kids being selected in the NFL draft, snatching the moment away from Fernando Mendoza, from Arvell Reese, from Caleb Downs. You thought that Rodgers would rise above what was going to take place tomorrow night and announce. And I told you at the time, if he announces tomorrow, okay, I don't think it's that big of a, it's a story that we think is going to happen anyway. It wouldn't deter anyone from talking about the draft.
People would talk about it.
So you're going to stay with your opinion on this?
I think
that tomorrow's the day that Rodgers is going to announce, and then it's going to throw everything in flux for the NFL draft.
If I was Abdalla market, if I was a prediction market.
Oh, like Poly Market?
Yeah.
Abdalla Market?
I tried to come up with...
You should get in on that.
Abdalshi, but it didn't roll off the tongue as much.
I like Abdalshi.
Abdalshi doesn't roll off. Abdalshi's a little weird. I like Abdalla Market a little better. Market. Raj, which one do you think is better? Abdalshi or Abdalla Market?
Ooh,
which one's better?
Oh, boy.
I think Abdalla Market rolls off the tongue a little better.
Abdalla Market is pretty solid.
Abdalla Market. Okay, so we're going to go with Abdalla Market.
Abdalla Market.
On Abdalla Market, if you're looking at the charts, I think no is still the leader at 62% probably.
Okay. All right.
And 38% is still yes. So you're still getting value on yes that he's going to announce tomorrow. And then after the draft is still, because we've gotten more and more information since I said that from Art Rooney and from Mike McCarthy that said it's still going to be around June. It's going to be late May, June, because they keep saying it's going to be around when he said it last year. And last year we got the report June 5th that he signed with the Steelers. It was June 5th.
And he's on an ayahuasca voyage.
Yeah.
And he's enjoying his off season, and he's going to come out of that hut.
Yeah.
Where he's doing ayahuasca, and he's going to have a decision.
So AbdalliMarket.com, the Abdalli Market app. If
have
you want
to
to
secure that, or is
if it's in progress? I've asked an app to make it because I've asked an AI to make it because I don't have that. Okay. I can't make an app. Right. I don't.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Another big story in the NFL that's not necessarily related to the NFL draft. It's what's gone on with the New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel, Dianna Russini, and Vrabel speaking to the media yesterday. It was kind of strange, right? Like, we listened to the audio yesterday. He didn't apologize for anything specifically yesterday, but he did say he regretted decisions that were made. Mm-hmm. Which is always the cop-out of someone apologizing for something without actually apologizing for what took place.
Yeah.
And also not admitting to anything with Russini or anything taking place at all. Like, it was kind of vague. But saying that he talked to his players. And I guess what is another aspect of this that's interesting is the Boston Globe is reporting that Mike Vrabel wasn't expected to speak to the media yesterday, on Tuesday. He wasn't on the media schedule on Tuesday. So on Monday heading into Tuesday, he wasn't expected to speak on Tuesday. There was also no announcement on Tuesday morning that Vrabel would speak. So, okay, for those listening who don't know, why is this important? The NFL teams will let the local media members know who's expected to speak, when they're expected to speak, and where in the building, the facility, they're expected to speak, because all the different
Laura, I'm
teams.
sending you a bunch of audio.
Raj, hello.
Hi, Raj.
All the different teams have the ability to conduct interviews in like a conference room or like a theater, right? Or sometimes it's more of a casual setting. And so what they do is they allow the different outlets to know, because they also need to alert the TV. And why do they need to alert TV? So then TV can have the footage that then you see on SportsCenter, you see on all the different TV platforms, the footage of the coach or the quarterback speaking at the podium. And in the background is the advertisement of the lead partner who's with the Patriots or whatever, right?
Also, if it's a big enough deal, like an ESPN or an NFL network could carry it live if they wanted to.
Yeah, right. So things are in place behind the scenes, so none of that stuff is usually a surprise.
Exactly.
TV knows, they have their equipment there, it's all set, ready to go.
Yes.
So because there was no announcement, essentially what it was the Patriots announced that 2 players were expected to speak about starting the offseason. Now, why is that important to point out? Well, sometimes based on the player, you know, the old station that we used to work for is the home for the Chicago Bears. It was protocol on the show that we hosted that if Caleb Williams spoke, we were going to tap in and listen to what Caleb Williams had to say. Mm-hmm. If Ben Johnson spoke, we would listen to Ben Johnson, right? Quarterback, head coach, big deals.
Big deal.
If it's third on the depth chart safety, or the 4th wide receiver, we would always look at each other and we go, yeah, we don't need to hear.
Even if it was like unless it was
offensive lineman, we'd be like, no, we don't need to hear.
Linebacker,
we don't need it. So I'm guessing, and what the Boston Globe is reporting is because the Patriots let it be known that there were 2 veteran players who are not the quarterback or star player speaking to the media. Not as many media members were planning on attending these press conferences yesterday. And then they made Vrabel available to catch those covering the team, maybe not in a spot where they're prepared for everyone being there for when Mike Vrabel speaks and gives his official statement on the Russini situation. Is that a fair way to explain what's going on here? Is that the Patriots essentially from what it seems like, they deliberately misdirected the media so they didn't think it was going to be a big, quote, media day.
Yeah.
And then when you have less media around because it's, maybe not as important of players speaking, then you say, oh, yeah, Vrabel is also going to talk. And then you catch people who are either not expected to be there, the TV stations aren't ready to go. Maybe a reporter who covers a different team chooses to go and cover the Celtics because they're in the playoffs, right? Like there's all these different elements to decisions being made behind the scenes to why the coverage is the way it is.
National media couldn't be there. Like usually ESPN or NFL Network, if they have the notice the day before, they have the resources to fly a reporter and a TV crew out there to be there on set so they can get like a stand-up like you see on SportsCenter or whatever out there. And then also noted out there by Ben Volen of the Globe, who states this: after the statement was delivered and after the initial questions from the media that people saw on camera that was carried on SportsCenter and everything like that we gave you the audio here, there was a side session with Mike Vrabel.
A little side deal.
A little side session.
That's where you get the good stuff. Where
reporters were ordered to turn off all cameras, including phones, and were told to only ask football questions.
No. That's where if you're an entity reporting on it, you don't participate. That's garbage.
And then apparently a reporter from Mass Live didn't stick to football. She asked Vrabel about Dianna Russini's resignation last week from The Athletic as a result of the photos that Vrabel initially dismissed as laughable before pivoting, providing a more grave and contrite explanation on Tuesday. Vrabel declined to answer.
See, what this does is it just extends the story out more.
Yep.
And it also frustrates the local media covering it because, like I set up with the whole situation, is if the team knows and they're not telling you that they're going to make Vrabel available, you're intentionally misdirecting those who are making the plans behind the scenes to cover this stuff.
Yep.
And so you're now, I could also see the argument, like, shouldn't they be covering everything for the team? Well, that's just not how it is. Some players are more important than others. Coaches are more important than everyone else. And especially a coach that's in a situation that has now actual football implications.
Yeah.
It's relevant.
Yeah. Look, Drake May is more important than the guard for the Patriots. It just is. Like you said, Caleb Williams is more important than the second wide receiver for the Bears. It just is. And when you have a coach, when the coach speaks, the coach in the offseason only speaks 2 or 3 times before you get to training camp. And it's before the draft and it's during the draft. And then you don't hear from the coach until the offseason stuff happens, until the voluntary workouts happen, the mandatory offseason stuff. So that time is very precious. And when that coach happens to be involved in the biggest offseason story that doesn't involve a transaction or an offseason trade or something on the field that involves players, it's a big deal. A reporter lost their job over this. And the fact that the Patriots didn't make him available or announce that he was going to be made available and just kind of snuck Vrabel out there and then also said, no more questions, that's it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. So we'll keep our eyes on that story as well. The NFL draft is tomorrow. Coming up next, Stock Watch with Raj. Are we buying LeBron James? We'll talk about that.
Your team has a chance to change its trajectory overnight.
There's always a couple teams that no one expected that goes worst to first.
The NFL draft is tomorrow. The teams you care about and the prospects they could pick. We have the latest news you need to know from your home of the NFL, Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Hanging out with you live until 3 Eastern right here on Westwood One Sports from downtown Chicago, broadcasting each and every day. It's Bleck Abdalla. Raj Sharon produces the show from Colorado, parts unknown. And now it's time for Stock Watch with Raj. Raj, are you excited to spend the next 3 days with Bleck and Abdalla in Pittsburgh?
We get some quality Raj time.
I am excited to get my Bleck and Abdalla time in at the draft. We're going to have a whole lot of fun. But, guys, we just got breaking news in the NFL while we are at the break. So we're going to lead off Stock Watch with the breaking news. Cowboys EVP Stephen Jones told reporters today that the Cowboys have decided that they will no longer have talks with George Pickens on a long-term deal. He will play this season on the franchise tag. I ask you, Abdalla, learning that news, are you buying or selling your stock in George Pickens on the one-year franchise tag?
I'm going to buy stock in Pickens. I think he's going to play well. I think he's going to perform. I mean, there was like a... It wasn't like a study, but someone just looked at players that play on like franchise tags or contract years.
Yeah, and their performance.
They don't perform well. We just magnify it. Like, they don't perform better. We just magnify it because it's like, oh, he's on a contract year. He's performing better. It's like, no.
It's a lazy, easy thing to say.
It is. It's just that we look at those players because it's not that they're trying harder. We just look at them more because we see that they're on a contract year, so we're looking at them. Now, there might be a drop-off after they get their contract.
I would believe that.
That might be the case.
I would believe that.
That might be the case.
The one thing I would say to that type of study is the only thing that I think you could make an argument to is that there could be more players willing to like fight through an injury.
Yeah, that's true.
Knowing that they need to secure a payday.
Yeah.
Now,
but in like baseball, it's not like they're trying to hit more home runs in a contract year.
No. But I could see a football player, an NBA player, all the different sports. If you have like a little slight injury that you can kind of play through, but you want to wait and be 100%.
Yeah.
Well, you're also not producing by not playing.
Yeah.
And what do they do? Especially in baseball, what do they look at? They look at the numbers. That's it.
Yeah.
They look at the numbers and they say, well, how many home runs? How many, different stats? What's his, exit velo on stuff? Like, that's what they're looking at. Yeah. So I agree with you. I could see buying.
And then
that
the year after you get paid. Ouch. I'm out.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, I don't need to push myself as hard.
I'm buying, though, because I think he's going to play well because he wants to get paid next year. So I think he's still going to play well. And I like Dak and I like the Cowboys. So I'm buying.
Raj, I'm selling this because there ain't no way that he's playing for the Cowboys this year.
Whoa.
This is going to be a problem.
Whoa.
This is going to be a problem. You think that George Pickens is just going to be cool playing on the franchise tag? He's already said that he doesn't want to.
Okay.
This is going to be a problem. I am selling. There's no way he is just content and going to play for the Dallas Cowboys this upcoming season.
Okay.
Under the franchise tag. That's not happening. He will be moved.
He'll
get a new deal or he'll get moved.
All right.
Selling. I like it. All right, Bleck, we're a day away from the draft. You mentioned we're going to be in Pittsburgh. We know who's going number one, so it feels a little anticlimactic, but as for the day before the draft, just a real simple question. Are you buying or selling Fernando Mendoza?
I'm going to sell. As the number one overall pick in the NFL draft, his expectations are going to be so high, and I just don't see it for that quarterback. I just don't do it. I don't. He, to me, isn't that impressive as a prospect that I would spend the number one pick on. And maybe I'm wrong, but I'm going to sell on Mendoza.
It wouldn't be the first time we've been wrong about a quarterback. You and I didn't like Justin Herbert coming out of college.
Yeah, it's true.
And look at what he's turned into.
Yeah. He also, in Oregon's system, he didn't really throw the ball.
No, he didn't.
So, I didn't know that that's something he was capable of doing.
And I think that everyone that we've talked to has said he's got all of the intangibles. He's a great leader. He's going to be great in the room. He's going to be great in meetings, and he's going to understand everything. But when it comes down to making throws and everything in a system, he had the best offensive line in college football. He had great receiver. He had everything.
Best defense.
He had the best defense. He had the best college coach, too. He had the best coach in college football. I want to see it. I don't even know if he's going to start game 1. So right now, I'm going to sell just because I think the price as the number 1 pick is insanely high. If you were telling me he was going to go, if this was old school draft, I don't think if this was 2000, if this were the 90s, I don't think he's going number 1. I think the beef would be going first. The edge rushers would be going first.
The beef.
Well, it's true. It's true. The Jeremiyah Love would be the first overall pick if this was early 2000s, late 90s. He would be. And we'd be talking about Fernando Mendoza going like 10th. It just would be the case. But because it's a quarterback-driven league and you have to have a quarterback, he's going number 1 just because he's the guy and you have to have a guy. So I'm selling.
All right, guys, next up. You remember we were talking, it didn't seem like that long ago, hey, our team's going to try to game to get the Lakers. They can sweep them in the first round. They're up 2-0. Are you buying or selling the LeBron James-led LA Lakers, specifically with LeBron at the forefront? You buying or selling LeBron, Abdalla?
I am going to buy LeBron right now. I think he is not showing his age. I think he's picked his spots well. Chris said it best. I'm going to take his words from last hour when we were talking about this. If this is who LeBron is and he can be on a team with another superstar and he can get a team to the playoffs and then turn it on in the playoffs and play like this, that's perfect LeBron James at 41 years old. I think he's showing teams that were hesitant to spend big money on him next season, whether it's the Warriors or the Cavs or maybe still the Lakers, that he is going to be a presence next year. I think they might be second guessing spending that kind of money on him because I think they want to in a good way. They're like, okay, maybe we do need to spend the money because if the dude is still playing like this at 41, maybe it's worth it.
Yeah,
so I'm buying.
I'm going to buy because I think in this series, even with 2 of their top 3 best players not there, with Reeves and Doncic, you know, the way LeBron has got the others to play well, I think is notable because it feels like Houston is just pulling itself apart. And Durant, is he helping with that? Is he a part of the cause to why this is? Like, you know, go back to the All-Star weekend and everyone was talking about how Kevin Durant spends all his time on his phone with burner accounts talking trash about his teammates. Like, it doesn't really, like, if you want to connect dots, it doesn't really surprise me that this team kind of struggles. And LeBron seems to be getting the most out of those around him. So give credit to LeBron. I mean, the fact that the Lakers are up 2-0 going to Houston for Friday night, I'm going to buy the LeBron James stock. And now, long-term, Raj, I don't see this team winning a finals. I don't see them getting to the finals. But I think right now you got to buy it.
All right, guys, the most talked about name, or at least one of the top 2, it seems like, we're talking a lot about for the draft tomorrow, is Jeremiyah Love. We're hearing things he could go as high as number 3. He's being compared to Christian McCaffrey. We know where you guys fall on the running back position. So, Bleck, I ask you, day out from the draft, are you buying or selling the potential best player in the draft, Jeremiyah Love?
Okay, I'm going to buy Jeremiyah Love. With that said, I still don't think a team that should select in the top 5 should be taking a running back. I think those are 2 separate ideas. I think Jeremiyah Love's going to be really good. I think he's going to be a stud. And you're right, Raj. We've heard people compare him to Christian McCaffrey. I believe Jahmyr Gibbs has been said to us as far as a comp for Jeremiyah Love. I think he's going to be that good. I just wouldn't take him if I had a pick in the top 5. But I'm going to sell the player. I think he's going to be great in the NFL.
I am going to buy Jeremiyah Love. I think he's going to be, like Chris said, I think he's going to be really good in the NFL. I think he's going to be a Rookie of the Year candidate this year. I think regardless of who drafts him, I think he's going to be that much of a difference maker. It doesn't matter what I think about the value of a player and where you should draft him. I think this is a year where we have to throw out what we believe about drafts and their positions, because this draft sucks. It just does. It just does. That's what
sucks.
As far as high-end talent goes, no, there's a lot of intrigue in this draft, and I think that's why we don't know who's going to go number 2. And there's every time, I mean, mock drafts are coming out every hour because we don't know what's going to happen. I think that leads to a lot of intrigue of what's going to happen, because there's no set number 2 pick. There's no set number 3 pick, and that's why Jeremiyah Love could go as high as number 3 and could be a Christian McCaffrey difference maker for a franchise, and that's fine. And I'll go back to my don't take a running back in the top 5 next year, but if Jeremiyah Love is going to be that much of a difference maker for your franchise this year, take him, because if the talent isn't as good and you're not as sure of a player like Arvell Reese at number 3, but you're sure on Jeremiyah Love and you know he's going to be a Hall of Fame player, take him. Simple as that. Take him.
I am proud of you, Abdalla. That is growth. You hear that, Bleck? That is growth from Abdalla, willing to break his own rules. I'm proud of Abdalla.
I agree. It's a big moment.
All right, Abdalla. Jaden McDaniels was not shy after the Timberwolves win over the Nuggets in Game 2. Now heading into Game 3, where he's got to step back on the floor. Are you buying or selling him?
I'm going to buy Jaden McDaniels because I like the attitude of the Timberwolves as a whole. I think they embody what Anthony Edwards has brought to the team, and bringing this kind of like swagger to the team, and we don't care, and we're going to back it up, and we're just going to, if they win tonight, great. And if they don't, I don't think that attitude is going to change. They're going to bring that attitude into Game 4, and they're going to bring that attitude into Game 5. Anthony Edwards doesn't care. Like, even in his ad campaign for his shoes, he goes after players in his ad campaign. And I think that translates to Jaden McDaniels. It translates to other players on the team. That's just the attitude of the Timberwolves, and I love that. So I'll take this as, yes, Jaden McDaniels, I'm buying them, but I buy the Timberwolves, and Anthony Edwards is... Like, I know Victor Wembanyama is probably the best player in the NBA, and that, but my favorite player to watch is Anthony Edwards. He's probably my favorite player in the NBA just because of his attitude in the NBA.
McDaniels calling the Nuggets and all of their players trash defensively is the highlight so far of the NBA playoffs. It is great. We don't have enough of that in sports anymore, where teams just straight up dislike each other. And so I'm buying it. I think the Timberwolves are a team, like Abdalla said, that they're about that. They're about that life. They're going to talk trash. They're going to back it up. And so I'm a fan of Jaden McDaniels calling out the Nuggets, all of their stars, everyone on the team. They can't play defense. We're better than them. So I love it. I'm buying.
And finally, Bleck, the man who drew the ire of the Garden. Are you buying or selling CJ McCollum as the series shifts to the ATL?
Oh, I'm buying McCollum. The Hawks figured something out, and they saw Jalen Brunson, the traffic cone out there, and they knew every trip down the floor, if they could get Brunson on McCollum, that the Hawks would have the advantage. So I am buying, absolutely. And the Knicks need to figure something out here to get the season back on track.
What's the game? It's freeze tag, where you tag someone and they just have to stand there with their arms out, and you just have to like run around them.
Yes.
And they can only tag you if you accidentally run by them. That's what Jalen Brunson is. He just stands there. And so CJ, like you said, CJ McCollum and the rest of the Hawks have figured that out. That all you got to do is run by him. And so I am buying this in a game where he is a traffic cone, a turnstile, whatever. He's the meme of the guy, the security guy that's not touching anybody and just doing the security check and just going by.
He's a buoy in the river.
Yeah. He's not going to do what I'm going to go through at airport security later today.
Wait, what's going to happen to you?
I mean, listen.
What do you mean?
You know, the walk over here for the extra check.
No pre-check?
No, I do have pre-check, but that doesn't the extra.
You get the pre and after?
I get the extra. I get the pre, during, and after.
They put the glove on?
The quick snap. Yeah. Come over, hold out your palms, sir. So yeah, I don't think that Jalen Brunson is going to do anything to CJ McCollum. So I'm buying that.
How about that, Raj? The glove check.
Yeah.
How about that?
There we go. The glove check. And that is a perfect way to end Stock Watch today, guys.
Thank you, Raj. That's great. The glove check. Bleck Abdalla, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save on commercial auto insurance from Progressive. Get a fast quote at progressivecommercial.com. Shedeur Sanders would like the media to have better vibes this upcoming season. Really, he said that. We will play that for you coming up next.
Westwood One! The NFL draft is upon us. We'll have live picks from the podium, instant reaction, exclusive player interviews. Bet MGM tonight with Pat Boyle and Brad Evans. Coverage starting at 6 Eastern tomorrow from your official home of the NFL, Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Yesterday in Cleveland, the Browns had their voluntary mini camp started up. And to be a Cleveland Brown fan, boy, they are already having reporters, Mary Kay Cabot, Cleveland.com, reporting on who won the day as far as the quarterback competition.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. You see how I'm leading us into this? That they're already breaking down these practices where, by Mary Kay Cabot, Watson looked slightly more polished and efficient than Sanders did on day one. He won the day by a small margin. So Deshaun Watson won the day, even though Shedeur Sanders went 11 on 11 first in that matchup and got most of the reps. But Deshaun Watson was also out there, and he looked more polished. You saw Dylan Gabriel get no first-team snaps yesterday. So that's what Cleveland Browns fans had to look forward to this summer, is Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson battling it out for the starting quarterback position for the Cleveland Browns.
that's disgusting.
New head coach Todd Monken ready to go.
I'm sorry, Browns fans. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you will be our punching bag for the 2026-27 season because you don't deserve this.
Well, speaking of people in the media having thoughts and comments about the Cleveland Browns, here's Shedeur Sanders yesterday after practice talking about how he wants positive vibes from the media this year.
On the field, in the weight room, like it's a new vibe, it's a new energy. The only thing we missing is y'all. We need y'all to have a new vibe, new energy. I know y'all want us to win, so we need some winning energy here. You know what I'm saying? We can't have too much negativity going on, and you want our players to be the best version of ourselves for y'all. So I think it's a community thing. I think we all, like as a group, have to, because everybody's gonna have kids. Everybody has that. You don't want your kids to be the side effects of, you know what I'm saying, what you done did in life, the negativity and all this different type of stuff. You don't want that. So let's approach even this, like with a better attitude, like even coming from y'all also.
Shedeur Sanders yesterday telling the media that he wants a better attitude and more positive vibes from the media this year covering the Cleveland Browns. The poor kid must be confused. Is that the nicest way to say that?
Yeah, but I'm not surprised, Chris, because Wednesday, September 18th, 2024, Deion Sanders criticized the media for being too harsh.
Colorado?
Yep.
Well, okay, but I do think there is a different element of school and those covering a school feeding into this idea that we're all in it together. Well, those who are covering the Cleveland Browns are not getting paid by the Cleveland Browns, Shedeur. So someone doing their job covering the team because your team sucks and telling the public how it's happening and what's happening and why they're bad has nothing to do with your vibes. Like, you need to check your own vibes and win some football games. If you win football games, people will cover the team appropriately.
No, but my point is that this isn't, you don't hear this from Deshaun Watson, and you don't hear this from Todd Monken, and you don't hear this from anybody else. You hear this from Shedeur Sanders, who all I had to do was look up Deion Sanders criticizes media, and instantly a story popped up because he is his father. He is his dad.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair way to look at it. It's also like the life experiences, right? Like, he's been handed a lot.
Yes.
He got to Cleveland and he thought that he deserved to be the number one guy, even though there were other quarterbacks and a quarterback that was selected ahead of him in last year's draft, right? Like, it's just, that's not how it works. Now, if the Browns win, the coverage around the Browns will be better.
Yeah.
But you trying to tell the media that you need to be more positive because we all need to be in this together, sir, that's not how this works.
No,
that's not how it works at all. And it really it's giving privileged. That's what it's giving, right? That's what the young people say. It's giving, and then they say something, right?
It's giving something, yes.
It's giving entitlement and privilege.
That's exactly
what it is.
You want to change the narrative? Go out and perform. Go out and say that Mary Kay Cabot report should say Shedeur Sanders won the day. Shedeur Sanders looked great. Shedeur Sanders looked like he's put time in the offseason.
Shedeur Sanders might be a top 10 quarterback.
Shedeur Sanders has a great connection with the wide receivers and is really taken to this Todd Monken offense.
You think that perhaps you would see, Browns fans and the media be pretty happy to see a quarterback be like a top 10 guy? I think they would be pretty happy about that. The quarterbacks are notoriously known for being a franchise to have never had a quarterback. They're the ones. Hopefully, for you and I, we're no longer on that list as Chicago Bears fans. Hopefully, we've got our guy. Hopefully, that Caleb is the guy. But the Browns are the team, right? With the jersey and the back of the jersey, there's 1,000 names running down the back.
All the different guys.
Tim Couch, all of them.
They've been rumored to add another guy this weekend at the draft in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And they might.
I don't know if fans really care, but like, it is bothersome to me that that's the mindset of a player who thinks he's the best player on the team, right? Like, that you all need to be in this with us. No, they don't.
No.
Are the Browns employing all of the media members? Now, if they work for the team, then that's different. If you're a writer or a social media person that works for the team, yeah, you kind of have to be a part of the team.
There's probably someone there that writes for
got rules.
Browns.com or whatever it is. You know what it is? You know what I mean?
one person, but to say a blanket statement that all of the different radio stations, all the different people covering the team, get better vibes for us. We need better vibes. Dude, get better at passing the football.
Stop coming in last. Be better. How about the only highlight of your season is that your best player broke the sack record and nothing else?
Well, right.
You've got a Ferrari sitting in the driveway of the trailer park.
He wants new paper, too. Myles Garrett, he wants a new deal.
Not happy?
He wants a new deal.
Not happy?
So, so that was yesterday, and I'm sorry, Browns fans, that in April, before the draft, that you're watching the battle, Watson and Sanders, to figure out who won the day for quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, God.
How worried should the Spurs be about Wemby? We'll talk about that next, right here on Westwood One Sports.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right, Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, SiriusXM Channel 375, all of our great affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck, along with Adam Abdalla, broadcasting live from downtown Chicago. We're on the air until 3 Eastern, and then we'll hand it off to Jim Rome right here on Westwood One Sports. If you want to join the show, you can call or text us at 310-840-4910. Tomorrow's the NFL draft. We'll continue prepping for the draft, talking about the draft Abdalla and I will be there broadcasting live from Pittsburgh, Acrisure Stadium, both tomorrow and Friday from noon to 3 Eastern. We can't wait to get to Pittsburgh later on this evening and to get set for the NFL draft tonight. There's also 2 big NBA games in the NBA playoffs. And last night in the NBA playoffs, we had some good basketball games. The 76ers upset the Celtics. It's a 1-1 series now heading towards game 3. 76ers win 111-97. We have the Blazers beating the Spurs, which, of course, is big news that this is a 1-1 series. But Wemby getting the concussion yesterday, that's the main storyline. And then the Lakers go up 2-0 on the Rockets last night, which is notable because Houston, I think, is in a desperate situation to find a win here in this series. Tonight's matchups, the Magic against the Pistons in game 2, 7 o'clock Eastern, and then 9:30 Eastern, Suns at Thunder. The Pistons are up against it. Can they bounce back at home tonight against the Magic after the Magic stole game 1? So last night, Wembanyama falls to the ground, second quarter, Abdalla smashes his face on the court, leaves the game, does not return with a concussion, and now having a series tied 1-1, Blazers and Spurs. This is now a series and something that Spurs fans need to concern themselves with when Wembanyama will be back for the Spurs.
Yeah, so he cannot go back to full activities for 48 hours. He can do some activities after 24 hours. He then needs to be cleared by a doctor to return to a game. Obviously, you said game 3 is on Friday. Game 4 is on Sunday. And then you've got game 5 on Tuesday back in San Antonio. The series is tied at 1 apiece now. It seems like he could come back for Friday's game, best case scenario. Absolute best case scenario.
Yep.
He clears protocol. He entered protocol last night. Best case scenario, he comes back for Friday. If there's a situation where he needs to miss more than that, if the Spurs can split on the road, just like Portland did when they were on the road in San Antonio, if it comes back to San Antonio tied at 2, I don't think that's a bad situation. If Wembanyama can come back next week, a week from yesterday, on Tuesday, and the series is tied at 2, and they have a chance to win 2 more games and end the series there, I think that that's fine. Wembanyama can afford to miss 2 games as long as the Spurs win 1 on the road. And they hung around, and obviously, you had Scoot Henderson put up 30-some-odd points, and it was crazy. It was a good game for him, and Portland ended up winning that game. I think the Spurs can win 1 on the road, and that's good for them. But ultimately, if Wembanyama has to miss the rest of the series, it's going to be tough for the Spurs to win this.
Yeah, I mean, it's an even fight. I think San Antonio, they're still a better basketball team than Portland, but the major trump card in this series is Wembanyama, both defensively, but also what he's able to do on the offensive side. And I think what the major problem of trying to figure this out is that with concussions, it's an unknown. And if at any point in the process of trying to get cleared, symptoms come back up, you then have to go back to the start of having 48 hours of no concussion symptoms before you can play. Mm-hmm. So, that's the one thing that I think is a concerning item to this storyline is that Mark Stein put out that there was a study done focusing on concussions, concussion protocol in the NBA, and the games missed. And what that study said, and that Mark Stein posted earlier today, was that most concussions, the average in the NBA, players missed between 3 and 4 games per concussion. So, think about the regular season. The regular season, usually teams are playing 3 to 4 games a week during the season.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you want to jump out a week from now, that would put us at Wednesday, which would be the day after Game 5. And Thursday of next week would be Game 6. Again, that would be if there are no symptoms after this weekend, right? That would rule out that Wembanyama would be playing on Friday night against Portland. Now, we don't know. He may, over the next 24 hours, have no symptoms, and it will be past the point from last night when it happened where you would pass through the threshold of 48 hours after, and maybe he can play. It's possible. But you don't know with a head injury, and sometimes it lingers. There's no rhyme or reason, really.
Yeah.
And so everyone's a little different, and that's what the concern would be for the San Antonio Spurs, is that this is not a twisted ankle. This is not something where you could say, we know in about a week he'll be set, he'll be good to go, and we can see it. We can see the ramp up. The problem with a concussion is that you can start activities after 24 hours, but then you can't have any concussion-like symptoms, or else you go back to waiting.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is that if it pops up, you have to go back to zero and then wait to then start up the activities and then pass through the protocol, which I'll give the NBA credit. They do stand to and hold to these guidelines for the concussion protocol. I made the joke earlier to you about it. In the NFL, sometimes it feels a bit flimsy. Sometimes it's like a quarterback gets rocked. And then, where's the third party eye in the sky guy? That guy's just asleep at the wheel because we need to have quarterbacks playing in these games.
It seems like it.
Or a guy goes into the, someone gets smacked right in the helmet.
Yeah.
They go into the blue tent, and then you hear the report on the sideline that they have an ankle injury.
Yep.
And it's like, what? No, he got smacked in the face. The hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
And the quarterback's back out there. So the NBA, it's pretty clear on what you need to do to pass through to be able to be active to play.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, you said the Spurs are a better team. I believe that they are too. If you look at, looking ahead to Friday night, I mean, the odds are right now on DraftKings, the Spurs are a favorite in that game. So as of right now, Vegas believes that the Spurs are a better team, or at least the betting
How
market.
big of a favorite are they?
1.5 points.
Okay.
So it's not a lot, but, it's also a road game in Portland, so that does factor into it a little bit as well. So Vegas believes that the Spurs, without Wembanyama, because I would assume this is putting a line out there, not knowing. I would have to believe that it's baked into this that they assume that Wembanyama's not going to play. Because if he is, this line would be a little bit bigger with Wembanyama playing in this game. So Vegas believes that the Spurs are better. It's probably a little bit even with him out there on the road, with him not out there on the road in Portland. If they can sneak out a game and leave Portland tied at 2 games apiece, and he can find a way to play and get out of concussion protocol by Tuesday when it's back in San Antonio, I think that's best case scenario for the Spurs.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried then.
Yeah.
I would be worried if he does not play this weekend and then we don't know or have an idea for Tuesday. And, you're fighting for survival if you happen to drop 2 games on the road this weekend in Portland. So we'll keep our eyes on that situation with Victor Wembanyama and the concussion, and we'll see when he can return. To me, the surprise of the night was Philly upsetting the Celtics in Game 2, and their guards, Maxey and Edgecombe, playing as well as they did. Maxey goes for 29, Edgecombe goes for 30, and the Celtics lose, so it's a 1-1 series. And we talked about it heading into the playoffs that I felt as if all of the top 2 seeds in both conferences, that it was going to be pretty easy outside of the Detroit series. I didn't see Philly being able to show much of a fight, let alone steal a game on the road in the first 2 to send it back to Philly for 2. That was a big win last night for the 76ers.
It was. I agree with you to an extent. I feel like that if you go back and look through Boston's series, that there's always a game where they're just like, nah, not tonight. There's always a game where they're just like, not tonight. And they decided after the second quarter where Philly put up 37, and they were just like, we'll turn it on, and we'll turn it on for games 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
They just know. I mean, they just know. They're a much better team than Philly.
I don't view Portland's win as surprising because the moment you see Wembanyama go out in the second quarter, it's like, okay, this is kind of like game on. But like the Celtics should handle their business.
I understand that, but watching this yesterday and watching this unfold yesterday, at no point was I like, oh man, now this is a series.
I think it's a series now.
I don't think it is.
I legitimately think this is a series
If the 76ers get one more, then I'll say okay. But I think this is a gentleman's, all right, now the Celtics are going to go they're going to go to Philly, and this is over.
So if that's the case, what do you call the Lakers and the Rockets then?
Oh,
as the Lakers go up 2-0 as they head to Houston on Friday.
Well, okay, so that could be a gentleman's sweep. That could also just be LeBron has never lost a series in his career when he's up 2-0. Two things can happen. Either that trend continues or Kevin Durant decides to show up because he didn't play in game one and he decided, I don't know what he was doing in the second half of yesterday's game. He only had 3 points in the second half of yesterday's game. So what do you call yesterday's game?
Activities?
Getting his steps in?
Yeah, he had the Fitbit on, and he was getting his steps in.
He needed his 10,000 steps in the second half. So they can go out and get it, or the Rockets can come out and play, and Durant can show up in the next two games, in games 3 and 4, and they can tie this up, and then you got a series, and then the trend can break, and LeBron and the Lakers could go back to what they're doing and what everybody thought would happen without Reeves and without Doncic and lose this series. Now, reports are saying that Reeves is coming back to basketball activities and he could be back by the end of this series.
Right.
So the more that the Lakers win, which now they've won 2 games, and now this, if Houston wins 1, if Houston wins 2, this just extends the series. And Reeves has a better chance of coming back. Luka's not coming back this series.
Yeah.
But Reeves can. And so the more that this extends, the Lakers are getting healthier and healthier. And Marcus Smart played really well.
Right.
And Kennard played really well.
And that's why I think this is such a big problem for Houston, because the whole idea for the Lakers coming into this series was extend this series.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the case for the Rockets. The Rockets needed to get up early.
Yeah.
Even a split wouldn't have been terrible for the Rockets. But the fact that the way they shot the ball last night, shooting 7 for 29 for 3, 24%. They're already a bad shooting team to begin with. But with Durant out there, and it really didn't make much of a difference. He also had 9 turnovers. And a part of that, which I saw that was written about earlier today as well online, is that with the Lakers throwing double teams at Durant, he could not adjust to the defensive attack that the Lakers were bringing to him. So give credit to J.J. Redick for figuring out that if you double team Kevin Durant, he turns the ball over. And the offense for the Rockets kind of was stymied. So, this is one of those things where after the first round, we're looking around and, we had news yesterday in the last couple days, right, that Billy Donovan is not returning to the Chicago Bulls. It seems like indications are that Steve Kerr is not likely to return to the Golden State Warriors. So there could be a couple of big names out there as far as head coaches who could possibly take over teams, right? And so when you're looking around the league for possible landing spots for those names, Donovan, Kerr, Ime Udoka, head coach of the Rockets, if they lose and get swept by the Lakers, he's going to be the fall guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're not going to do anything. They're stuck with the roster with what they have. They're waiting for Fred VanVleet to be back healthy next season and maybe make a run with Durant and what they have with Thompson and Sengun. So I'm guessing that will be the chatter. If the Rockets, do nothing here in this series and they don't get out of the first round, that's one of those teams. Like, I feel like coming in to the playoffs, a lot of people would point to Orlando. Well, If Orlando wins a first-round series or goes 7 games against the Pistons, I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, it'd be kind of tough to fire a head coach if they take down the number 1 seed. Now, if you lose the next series, we'll see. But if you beat the number 1 seed in the Pistons, and we'll see what happens if the Pistons can even up the series. But if you lose, that's why I was saying the fans might not be wanting them to win that play-in game, because you might want someone else to take over as head coach. But they won, and now they've taken game 1. So we'll see what happens tonight. I think that the Pistons will end up winning this series, but we'll see. It could be a 7-game series, then the Magic could win that.
If you want to join the show to talk to Bleck Abdalla, you can always call or text us at 310-840-4910. That's where you find Mitch in New Jersey. You're on with Bleck Abdalla. What's up, Mitch?
Good afternoon, guys. How we doing?
We're great, man. What's up?
Yeah, thanks for taking the call. First with the Raiders, I'm happy they're getting lucky, Fernando, but I hope they can. They have 10 picks, 9 more. Hopefully they can get into that late first round, get a defensive tackle or one of those good wide receivers. I think Lane be there. He'd be in the second round, but I want them to get a little aggressive. I even want to get them aggressive to go to the end of the second round. Maybe they can steal Zachary Branch. And with the Lakers, I know it's looking good, but LeBron, he deserves a contract extension in my book. But I think it comes to an end when they play San Antonio, unless Wembanyama is going to be out. That looked like a bad fall yesterday. So the Lakers might get lucky again, missing 2 stars and LeBron playing heck, and DeAndre Ayton played well first game. Okay, I think I've said enough. Thank you for taking my call. You have a nice night. Day.
Yeah, thank you, Mitch. Appreciate the phone call. You can always join the show at 310-840-4910. Like Mitch, just to clarify, though, the Lakers, if they win this series, they have the Thunder waiting them. Because I don't believe the Suns will put up any fight here.
No.
So I think it will be Thunder. And if the Lakers move on, this is nice. This is a nice little first round for LeBron. It's feel good for LeBron. Second round would not be the same case. The Thunder will just rip them apart.
Yeah. That's I don't think LeBron's good enough to put up a fight, and the rest of the others, if you will.
No.
Without Luka. Even with Luka, maybe not. We'll see.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app as we continue to preview the NFL draft. Where will Ty Simpson get drafted on draft night? We'll ask Charles Davis coming up next.
The Cowboys have 2 first-round picks, and the entire draft is watching. Stay put or move up. Every Dallas decision reshapes the board. The NFL draft starts 8 Eastern. Tomorrow, from your home of the NFL, Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
The NFL draft is tomorrow night. We will be live at the draft tomorrow, broadcasting Bleck and Abdalla from noon to 3 Eastern. Same with Friday. Can't wait to get to Pittsburgh. And one of the major storylines we're looking at as we head to the draft is where will Ty Simpson be drafted? Will he be a first rounder? Will it be the start of the second round? Will someone make a crazy jump up into the top 10? We saw a mock draft earlier today. Todd McShay, his final mock draft, has the Rams at 13, selecting Ty Simpson, which he kind of points and hedges a little bit by saying that he thinks something crazy will happen, and it could make sense for the Rams. But it's one of those things. When we look at Ty Simpson, a part of the reason why people don't think he's necessarily worth being a first-round pick is because he hasn't played a lot in college football. 15 starts?
Yeah.
He had he didn't have a lot of pass attempts compared to other prospects. He hasn't had a lot of touchdown passes compared to other prospects. So when you look at the overall kid as a prospect, you would like to see a little bit more before deciding if he's worthy of a first-round draft pick.
Well, and if you remember, last college football season, there was a point where Ty Simpson was playing like the best player in college football.
Yeah.
He just was. He was a Heisman Trophy candidate, and they beat Georgia in the middle of the season, and they played really well. And towards the end of the season is when he kind of started to not play well. And it was just making, missing throws. There weren't a lot of interceptions. He was just taking bad sacks, and it was just missing throws that should have been there. And that's kind of what you worry about. It's that inexperience is what you worry about, and, not missing key throws.
He's also not like a physical monster.
No.
He's 6'1", 211. That's what he weighed in at the combine. So he's not one of these players that haven't started a lot, but you look at the tools and say, oh, maybe that could be something. Like, because the guy that screams about is Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson of Florida did not start a lot, but he looks like he could be physically the next Cam Newton, right? A guy that can throw it 1.5 miles down the field. He can run the football. Like this guy could be a beast, right?
Yeah.
Well, but he hasn't played a lot of football. And guess what? When he got to the NFL, you find out that the inexperience shows that he hasn't been the guy. And that's where I keep going back to the stat that the NFL has provided for the prep work on all the players heading into the draft. Here's the stat. Only 3 quarterbacks have been sacked, or only 3 quarterbacks have been selected in the first round in the NFL draft since 2010 that have had fewer career collegiate pass attempts than Ty Simpson's 523. Anthony Richardson, Trey Lance, Kyler Murray. Only Richardson had fewer pass touchdowns than Simpson's 28. So when you talk about players in the last 10 years who have not had a lot of experience, Kyler Murray has been good. He's lived up to, of course he's moving on to a new team, but you and I are both buying the Kyler Murray stock. We think he'll be successful with the Vikings, and he was worth being selected number 1 overall. So Kyler, I have no issues with. But with Trey Lance and Anthony Richardson, the concerns with Trey Lance, he didn't play a lot of football, and he had that weird COVID year thing, right? Like with Lance, didn't he only have half the starts?
Yeah.
Because North Dakota State only played 5 or 6 games in the COVID year.
They had to convince teams to play them, yeah.
Right. And so the concern was he didn't play anyone, and he didn't play. Okay, that was right. Trey Lance, not very good. Career backup. Anthony Richardson, I'm guessing, will be a career backup.
Yeah.
Although he's only 23?
He's very young.
So who knows? Maybe the development could still take.
I want to read you something from Dan Graziano, who has some intel on what's going on with Ty Simpson. And it concerns the Rams.
Okay.
So the Rams, this is a lot of intel on what's going on with the Rams at 13.
The Los Angeles Rams.
The LA Rams. If the Rams think they can find an impact receiver in the second round or later, they could do that. It could be anything. Then there's the Ty Simpson factor. The Rams have been connected to the Alabama quarterback in league circles for a while. It's an open secret that they like him. When they still had the 29th pick, they seemed the likely team to watch for Simpson. But since 13 feels too soon to take him, that talk has quieted down. Now, many wonder if Simpson could tumble out of the first round entirely. But as I said, the Rams don't appear to have any crying needs for which the 13th pick could help them in their effort to win a Super Bowl at home. So could they trade down from number 13 and still take Simpson later in the round? Possibly. Could they just bite the bullet and take Simpson in 13 if they like him that much? Unlikely, but again, this is a tough team to predict. And he goes on to say that some people are wondering the Rams could even trade up to take Jeremiyah Love.
Oh, okay. I mean, I would prefer that than Simpson. If the Rams traded up for Love, that at least that's a win now move. I get that. I don't have that big of a problem with that.
You can't tell me
Ty Simpson at 13 is pretty ridiculous.
You can't tell me that Les Snead is just sitting there on the day of the draft. He's got his feet up on the desk, back there, just going, nah, we're good. We don't need anything. Nothing.
Well, I mean, that's how you drive your franchise into a ditch.
Right?
Saying that you don't need anything?
That's insane.
Come on now.
That's crazy talk.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. On Monday, we got a chance to talk with the NFL Network's Charles Davis, and he told us this about Ty Simpson and where he should go.
The Cardinals have strong interest in him. I don't think the Jets are going to bite at 16. I don't think Pittsburgh bites at 21. He doesn't fit anything close to what Pittsburgh has had as a successful quarterback over the last God knows how long. That just doesn't seem to fit at all. The Jets, that's a tough proposition for him because if he goes at 16, it's what you said earlier. He's going to have to start, and he's had 15 collegiate starts. The record for quarterbacks with less than 20 collegiate starts in the NFL, the track record of being good, is not good. He needs to go in the second round, take all the pressure off of him so people don't just go nuts and say, you got to start the guy right now and give him a chance to develop. To me, the Cardinals at 34 would be ideal for him because it takes the first-round stigma off of him.
So that was Charles Davis on the Bleck Abdalla show earlier this week. You can find the full interview on the podcast page on Apple and Spotify. We also talked yesterday with Mike Mayock, and this was what he said, his evaluation of Ty Simpson.
I think there's a lot to like about his tape. He's 6'1". He's got a good arm. Doesn't have a huge arm, but more than enough arm. I mean, if you looked at the physical traits between he and Mendoza, they're fairly similar. Mendoza's a bigger guy, but they're both pretty good athletes. What I like most about Simpson was his ability to read progressions, get to backside, throw dig routes on the third progression. He looks like a guy that is – his football IQ is also at a high level. I believe he's a coach's son. Doesn't surprise me if he is. What I don't like is the history of former first-round quarterbacks that have started 1 year or less. That's like a quarterback's cemetery. I mean, they just go to die there.
So that was Mike Mayock on with us yesterday, Bleck and Abdalla. You can check the podcast, the full conversation with Mike Mayock or Charles Davis as we prep for the NFL draft right there. Bleck and Abdalla, find us on Spotify, find us on Apple, and also you can always watch the show on YouTube, Bleck and Abdalla Show.
I think the best move for Ty Simpson is to go to a team. Like, I hope the Rams draft him. I wouldn't draft him at 13, but I think the best case scenario for Ty Simpson is the Rams draft him, maybe trade back if that's the move and draft him. But again, you're hoping that another team doesn't jump you and take him. And that's a lot of hope. And that's a lot of relying on what other teams are doing. But the best thing for Ty Simpson is sitting for a year, maybe even 2 years, and watching and learning and then starting. But if you're drafted at 12th or if you're drafted at, 16th with the Jets, the smoke is the heat is gonna be on you to start. You're gonna have to start. With the Rams at 13, everybody knows what's happening. No one's gonna be yelling at you to start over Matthew Stafford. No one's gonna be saying that.
So who are you rooting for?
I'm rooting for I would like the Rams to take him. That'd be great.
You want the Rams at 13 to take Ty Simpson.
Well, look, here's my philosophy going into this draft, Chris.
Okay, well, just answer the question. Where do you want him to get drafted?
Here's what I want.
Okay.
Here's what I want. In a draft, Chris, as we are almost 24 hours away from the draft. And exactly because in our studio here in lovely downtown Chicago, we have TVs up here, and one of the TVs is on ESPN. We are 29 hours and 26 minutes away from the start of the NFL draft. In a draft where we've talked about there's not a lot of top-end talent.
Yeah.
I root for chaos.
Okay, so what's the team?
The chaos team are the Rams.
All right, I've got a better one because there's a team that I'm secretly rooting for to select Ty Simpson because I think it would just be absolutely hilarious.
The chaos team is that Les Snead goes up there and is like, "Yeah, we're taking Ty Simpson. He's gonna sit for 2 years because we also guess what? We just signed Matthew Stafford to an extension."
Who do you think in my head would be the funniest team to draft Ty Simpson?
The Browns.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's Cleveland, and it's not with their first pick at 6.
Yeah.
It would be their second first-round pick at 24. At 24, if they selected Ty Simpson, that would be hilarious.
The funniest move would be if they traded up from 24 to get him.
To get to like 15 to jump the Jets?
To jump the Jets to get it. Like, that's the funniest move. That's the funniest move.
That would be funny.
Or Les Snead convinces them, and Les Snead's the one that trades back with the Browns to get them to bite at 13 to get Ty Simpson at 13.
Like, I would just feel sad for him if Miami takes him at 30. The Dolphins, okay, sure, you could maybe pitch that Malik Willis will be the guy for a couple seasons, and then you're like, okay,
sure.
I don't think that would turn out well. I think the Cardinals can't get out of their own way, So if the Cardinals find a way to land Simpson either jumping back into the first round or, hey, we've also seen people say that, like, he's not a first-round pick.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like a lot of this could also be speculation because there's nothing else that people think there's any interest to talk about before the draft. You know what I'm saying? Like, there could be just media speculation. And teams might look at their boards and go, well, I'm not drafting a quarterback because I've got 7 guys who are in my range, my cloud, who I could take with my pick.
Yeah.
And then each next team comes by and, like, Carolina's not taking a quarterback. Dallas isn't taking a quarterback. You know, Pittsburgh, I don't think that's realistic. When you get to 22, the Chargers, no. Philly, no. The Browns again at 24. Then you get to the teams that were in the divisional round. So you got Chicago, Buffalo, San Francisco, Houston. They're not taking a quarterback.
No.
Then you get to the conference championship loser picks that have both been traded. So the Rams trading theirs to Kansas City, Denver trading theirs to Miami. You know, right? Like, there's not, at the back of the first round, there's not a lot of teams that could take a quarterback.
Denver would be funny.
Denver would be funny. Yeah, Houston would be funny.
Houston would be
hilarious.
Peyton gets his hands on him for a year. Oh, man. That'd be great.
So Houston would be funny.
I like Denver because Peyton gets his hands on him for a year, and because that Bo Nix stuff at the end of the year where they were arguing over his ankle
injury.
Peyton is like, I don't know about Bo Nix. We'll see how that ankle holds up this year.
Yeah.
Maybe we trade him.
Unfortunately, I don't think he's gonna make a move for Ty Simpson.
I don't know.
I don't think that's
he likes
the
quarterbacks.
Answer. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Could we have a quarterback that could be the next Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold? Could that be Justin Fields? We'll talk about that coming up next.
Running backs aren't supposed to be drafted high anymore, but Notre Dame's Jeremiyah Love may be the best player in the entire draft. Is Love the exception? Will he go in the top 5? From your home of the NFL, Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Check the podcast on Apple and Spotify. Also like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Bleck and Abdalla Show. Hang out with us each and every day. We have the live stream and new content posted to the YouTube channel each and every day. Like and subscribe, Bleck and Abdalla Show. Thanks to Raj and Laura for producing today's show. Jim Rome coming up in 16 minutes right here on Westwood One Sports. And we will be on the air tomorrow live from Pittsburgh from noon to 3 Eastern right here on Westwood One Sports. It's Bleck and Abdalla hanging out with you. All right, Abdalla, did you see the quotes from Justin Fields meeting the media as the Chiefs have been working out, and Fields saying that he's been learning from Patrick Mahomes? Could perhaps Justin Fields revamp his football career and become the next Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold in a few years?
No.
All right, moving on. I agree. I agree with you. I don't think Justin Fields is that type of player.
No, look, every time Justin Fields has a great game, he follows it up with 2 subpar games. Like, he always pops and has a great game, and every Justin Fields fan, and you and I know this better than anybody broadcasting out of the city of Chicago, we lived the Justin Fields life, his rookie contract when he was drafted by the Bears. And they held on to Justin Fields.
And he never improved.
And he would have a great game, and all the Justin Fields fans would come out of the woodwork and be like, see? And then when he left, he left the Bears, and after that, he would have a great game, and you'd be like, see? This is what he could have been. And then he would have 2 bad games, and then they would leave. Then you wouldn't hear, where'd you guys go? And so I think he's going to be a great backup. I think he can come in and play a game.
Serviceable backup.
Well,
great backup. I don't know about that either.
Look, it's the same as Mitchell Trubisky. He can come in and they were drafted in the first round for a reason. They're not horrible quarterbacks. They're serviceable quarterbacks. And Justin Fields and Mitchell Trubisky can go in, and they're smart players, and they can learn offenses, and they can be serviceable backups. And if you need them, they're not going to save your season. If Patrick Mahomes has to miss significant time. Does anybody think that the Chiefs are going to be good with Justin Fields?
No. They were barely 500 with Mahomes last year.
That's my point. But if Patrick Mahomes has to miss 2 games, Justin Fields is fine. He's fine for 2 games. But if it's significant time, that ain't it. Can he revamp his career like Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold? I just don't think so. I just don't.
Yeah, it's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's one of those things where if you weren't watching Chicago Bears football when Fields was the quarterback, he had highlights. He can certainly give you pop plays, things that make the highlight shows on TV, or you see a bunch of retweets behind or a bunch of thumbs liking it on social media. Like, he can do that. He's just wildly inconsistent, and he cannot stand in the pocket and read a defense and make plays from the pocket. He just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it'll be the same as Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold. I wish him all the luck in the world. I hope he does turn out to be a serviceable backup for a long time, maybe at some point getting another starting gig. But I don't see him leading a team to the Super Bowl like Sam Darnold did last year. I don't see him leading a team to the playoffs like Baker Mayfield has in the past. I just don't see that for Justin Fields as a professional football player.
The problem is he is too up and down. He's not consistent
Well,
enough.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He can't pass from the pocket and be consistent.
And I understand that Sam Darnold led the league in turnovers last year. Like, he had all the fumbles and the interceptions. But when they needed him, he had the game of his life in the NFC Championship game. And he was great.
All right, after the show, Abdalla and I are both heading to the airport. We'll be flying to Pittsburgh. We'll be broadcasting tomorrow and Friday live from Pittsburgh, 12 to 3 Eastern. We got an email from Dan in Pittsburgh. I didn't even know we had an email. Did you know we had an email for the show?
We have an email?
Apparently, we have an email for the show. So
email.
Dan in Pittsburgh is a college football official, college baseball umpire, and a Steelers season ticket holder and big sports fan. Shout out to Dan emailing the show. He says, welcome to Pittsburgh prematurely because we are not there yet, but we will be there. He hopes we have a great time. He enjoys flipping us on and also listening to Jim Rome every afternoon.
Clones.
And let Jim know he's a big fan of his career as well.
Clones.
Shout out to Dan, who says that if we're looking for places to visit, eat, or hang out in Pittsburgh, feel free to reach out, and he will help us out. So shout out to Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Listening to the show, fan of the Bleck Abdalla show.
I know that Permante's is I assume it's the touristy spot, but I feel like we have to go.
Yeah, that's fine. We can get lunch there. They got the sandwich. They throw the fries on the sandwich, right? Everything goes on the sandwich.
I feel like
I'm down with that. I like sandwiches.
I feel like you have to go.
I'm cool with that. You know,
okay.
I was trying to find the top things to do in Pittsburgh. And so I went to visitpittsburgh.com. It's the tourism site for the city of Pittsburgh. And they have a list. Top 25 things to do in Pittsburgh.
All right, if I got to do this,
the number one thing?
What's the number one thing?
Acrisure Stadium.
We're gonna
what? We're gonna be there.
We're doing that.
The football stadium?
That's the number one thing?
But this is like a newer, modern football stadium. This isn't like some cathedral to college football or the NFL. This isn't Lambeau Field,
It's not Wrigley
right?
Field, like yeah, it's not.
It's not Fenway.
No, what are we doing here?
It's not the old Yankee Stadium. Acrisure Stadium is the best they have to offer for the city?
Is Pittsburgh Trauma Medical Center on there?
What's that?
It's where the pit is.
The show?
Yeah, I just finished the pit yesterday. I binged the pit. My wife and I binged the pit. I want to see Baby Jane Doe.
Okay, they probably filmed that in Los Angeles.
I want to see Dr. Robbie.
You think that they're on location?
I want to see Dr. Robbie.
You think they're on location?
If I got to cut off a pinky to get some treatment from Dr. Robbie, I will.
Was he a hottie or something?
No, I just want to say that I went to the pit.
Oh, okay, all right.
I just want to say I went to the pit. Don't you?
I don't care.
Oh,
I've passed through rooms where the show is on, but I don't care enough to like have to go to the hospital.
You don't want to get a
show.
gander at Baby Jane Doe?
I don't even know what that is.
She's a
baby.
There was a baby that was left in the bathroom of the waiting room at the hospital, And they don't know who.
As they do.
That's why her name is Baby Jane Doe.
Yeah, I've seen hospital shows before. I've seen ER.
They don't know who she. Well, it's kind of like ER. It's from.
Are the Pirates in town? Can we get a baseball game?
I don't know. Are the Pirates in town?
Is there a baseball game we can see? PNC Park looks awesome.
You're not going to it. You're not going to it.
What? I love baseball.
You're not going to.
I wonder
They're not
though.
in town.
They're not in town.
No.
Ah, man, we missed out. I do wonder about this though. Maybe Dan, the emailer from Pittsburgh, could help us out with this. We were sent this song. Apparently, this is the Steelers song that they play at the stadium.
Is it?
Laura, play this song. What is this Steelers song?
Here we go.
What?
Here we go. Here we go. Steelers, here we go. Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. Here we go.
Cheer the Steelers.
Oh, no.
Gold.
No.
It's town of Pittsburgh.
Is this real?
This can't be real. They didn't make this.
Has the best fans. We are from Pittsburgh, the 6-time Super Bowl champions.
No.
The guy singing sounds like he's falling asleep.
Executive decision. We're not going anymore.
Oh, no. All right, Laura, that's enough of that song.
That's disgusting. No, I don't want to ruin our trip.
That can't be real.
I don't want to ruin our trip. I don't want to ruin our
Steelers fans, is that really their jam?
I don't want to ruin our trip.
I know they play Renegade in the stadium.
That definitely looks like something that AI Mike McCarthy would love.
All right, Laura, enough of the song. We can't play any more of that. That's not right.
That's disgusting.
That's not going to work.
That's disgusting.
We are flying. You and I are on the same flight.
Throw that in Three Rivers.
Are you going to get the relaxed row?
What's the relaxed row?
Where they can put down the seats and you can lay down? The relaxed row. Have you seen this?
That's an option?
Yeah, it's a new thing. I think United's the one that's doing it.
Okay.
Where if you buy the 3 seats, you can fold them down and then put a little bed out there.
Can I expense that? Do we have the budget for 3 seats for me?
Yeah, go for it.
I don't think so.
See if it gets through.
I don't think it'll get through.
Who is laying down in these seats?
Our flight's like 2 hours.
No, I know, for any flight. Now, if you're flying overseas and you have one of those little pods, I get that.
If it's an 8-hour flight,
but who's laying down in the open where like other people can like just see? Like, isn't that weird?
That looks weird.
The relaxed row.
It doesn't look
United is
comfortable.
going to roll out the relaxed row.
That does not look comfortable or relaxing at all.
You have a child. Would you do that with your daughter?
No.
It's weird, right?
No. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
You make them sit in the seat.
Nah, just give her the iPad.
Right. You'll be fine.
Hope she doesn't start crying.
That's what you're going to do with me on the plane.
I'm going to give you the iPad and hope you don't start crying.
Yeah, you're going to give me the iPad and you're going to say, here, shut up.
Watch the pit.
Watch the pit. For the next 2 hours, you're going to watch the pit. All right, it's Bleck Abdalla. We will talk to you live from Pittsburgh tomorrow. Jim Rome and the Jim Rome Show is coming up next right here on Westwood One Sports.
This is Westwood One Sports.